Welcome, 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 guys. Welcome to GW1. Welcome back to Nightfall, in which the night is actually falling now, as I explained on my tweet and when I talked about this in Discord. Because it's kind of true, like, Nightfall is named after the event Nightfall, or Night Falls, which is what the book is named after, the in-game book version of this, which, and I guess the plays as well. But, so yeah, at the end of the last episode, if you never saw the last stream we did, we saved Seoka Basilica with Prince Amta the Mighty. Meanwhile, some stuff was happening with the other two princes, which we didn't get to see because we weren't working with Margaret the Sly, but that's fine. And after all of that was done, we found out the Order of Whispers leader's name. The Master of Whispers' name was Jura. And it felt a bit rushed and stuff. We also spent a lot of time dying to some frogs, or killing frogs that we weren't supposed to kill, rather, sorry. Can we just go in this, even when the mission's not running? No, that's a bit weird, the way that they had that set up there, then. Suggesting it might be inexplorable or something, but it's not. And now we're convening for a meeting. Because the two important things are this. One, Nightfall is coming. So even if Varesh and the Cornans wanted to ally with the Vabbians probably wouldn't be having any of it anymore, because it's obvious that they're evil bastards, and Varesh also is like way off the deep end. So they wouldn't want to ally anyway. But not only that, but probably having foreseen this, Varesh also decided to attack Vabby. So they probably wouldn't want to ally anyway, because they're evil and demons and blah blah blah. And trying to bring about the end of the world, essentially. And number two, they've just been attacked. So maybe the princes are going to reconsider what we talked about at the Orchard mission a little while ago. So we have Pledge of the Merchant Princes. We also got the Hanging Gardener, but we're not going to bother with that. So the Princes of Vabby await us in the halls of Chokin. So we're gonna just go out on an adventure straight away. I'm not going to spend ages pissing about. I think this is one of the best places for us to be right now. Unless going north from the Kodash Bazaar is a good idea? No, let's go from the Grand Court. So let's head on out into the Mirror of Bliss and beyond. We're actually going to one of my favourite places in Nightfall. Just for what it stands for, because of its, like, strength in terms of lore, or references to lore enthusiasts of days past. Long before me, for what it's worth. Nightfall was out long before I started pursuing lore in this franchise and stuff. But yeah. So, welcome guys. So, some news, I guess, on the Guild Wars 2 side, which I'll break to you now, which is kind of stupid, but hey, I did it anyway. So, on the last stream, we showed off all the Halloween decorations. We made one of each, and the last one we made was this pathetic, stupid little green candle, called a seance candle, which I laughed at, and was a bit stupid and was a bit weird, to be honest. And the thing with the seance candle was it cost 3 pumpkins to make, so I thought it would be like a 3-pronged candle or something. But it's actually 4 candles, and they're all green. And it didn't seem to do anything. But then, it came to my attention that actually it has like this effect where ghosts come whooshing out of it. And that actually improved the decoration a lot for me. I thought, oh, hold on, that could be pretty cool. Like, if you're trying to do a Halloween-themed guild hall, you want, like, and you can't change the skybox, you can't affect the global lighting in any way or whatever. Those ghosts are pretty much one of the only really good things you can do. You know, have a bunch of ghosts wafting around all over the place. So, thinking about this, and owing the fact we had 3,500 gold, more than that actually, because gold reset hit through. So we had coming close on 4,000 gold, okay? Seeing this, I decided to go decorate. Now, I made a joke on yesterday's stream that I'd just waste it all on, like, one thing, and then we'd have no money for anything else. And we've still got tons of rewards and things, so don't think that this is too serious. But I picked an arbitrary number of candles, enough to really spruce up an area. Like, I like the idea of making a pile, hitting local cap purely of the candles, and seeing what it looked like, you know, because you'd have tons of ghosts everywhere in theory. It'd look awesome. It's like the Spirit Quest tonic. Plus a few more for other people to mess about with. So I hit on the number 50. I thought I'd make 50 seance candles. Now, let me tell you, that was a huge mistake. Going for 50 seance candles was ridiculous. It took me like 3 hours just to watch all the pumpkins and stuff go through the assembly, alright? It took ages. I was sitting there listening to the old XFM Ricky Gervais, Carl Pilkington, Steve Merchant shows, like, for hours today. We're doing other stuff as well, but vaguely watching this assembly go through and double-clicking every now and then. And in terms of cost, I spent over $1,000 on seance candles. Yep, it cost over 1,000 gold to get them. Over 1,000 gold. Can't believe it. Probably not worthwhile, but I've dropped a ton of them around the hall now. And I guess the Spud Club probably, out of all guilds in Guild Wars 2, has more Halloween-y candles and things than any other guild in the entire game. And we probably have the best Halloween-themed hall out of every guild in the whole game. Come at me. Come on. Somebody defy me on that. We probably sincerely do have everything better than, you know, than anyone else, because we've just spent so much money. So anyway, now there's tons of ghosts everywhere. Like, so if you go in, it looks pretty cool. Obviously, it's the Guild Wars 1 today. I was very tempted to cancel Guild Wars 1, let me just be clear. And be like, guys, Halloween, look. So yeah, there was that. And after I got that deep in the hole, I figured we may as well go a bit further. I may as well make it at least look like I've done something more than just make candles, okay? Over $1,000 for 50 candles. Can you believe it? So, so what I also did was I think we now have 5 cauldrons. I made some other, like, little miscellaneous things. And I started looking at the jade. The jade from the recent Fractals update is really interesting. And we've made some of those as well. So, there's quite a lot of stuff going on with the decorations. I recommend you guys go to the hall, check it out. Maybe craft some of your own stuff too. Yeah. What can I say? That's the story. There you go. Make a guild hall tour video? I would, but people wouldn't be interested in watching it. God, I say that so much, but seriously, people would not be interested in watching it. It's basically just a bunch of decorations slapped around. Someone's made the cock and balls, again. Random little things, Gorseval tentacles everywhere, and it looks vaguely good at night, but there's like billions of ghosts everywhere. I'll show it off in a stream. Streams are where I can talk about that stuff, but is it good enough for a video? I don't know. Like, we've got a couple of cauldrons. Maybe if you had like 30 cauldrons and you moved them all together in this giant friggin' like witch ring or something that slowly stacked up into a mountain, maybe that's something that I could get away with on a YouTube video, but I don't know, man. I'm not sure. Yeah, someone has. The cock and balls is there again. That turns more heads than, you know, spending thousands of gold on other stuff, honestly. But yeah, so yeah, maybe I'll show it off at the end of this stream. I don't know. It wouldn't be too hard to just dip into Guild Wars and I'll show you what it looks like. Anyway, so we're here at the Mahanu Township now. See a new outpost, and we get to go further north in Vabby. We're about to go to the most northern reaches of Vabby. Presumably, there's like a region here that would still be considered Vabby. I mean, the Kodash Bazaar isn't very far from there. And these are sort of the edges, but I think it's more supposed to be the eastern edge. So I can imagine that there should be, but the way that we don't get to explore anything north of the Grand Court, unfortunately. I believe that this area here was actually the site of one of the PvP maps that never ended up like fully releasing or whatever. But yeah. So Kenor says, what's that bar to the right of the party frame? This is damage meter. So this shows you that in the last instance, while we wandered through the Mirror of Liss, it shows you that I did 6% of the damage, Koss did 7.6%, Zed did the vast majority, followed by Norgu down here. And Norgu's on a very like heavy mitigation build. So yeah, last stream we had a lot of voting, and you guys had like epic opportunities to troll me, and you didn't take it. Oh, I mean, some people did, but they weren't as fast as the people who didn't want to troll. So we've actually got a really good Mesmer build here. He's a panic Mesmer. He's not like particularly damage. But you'll see, like, he hits so high on the DPS meter from only, like, 3 abilities, really. Maybe Shatter Enchantment was getting more usage than I give it credit for. But that's kind of mental. His elite does no damage. None. It's just interrupts. I mean, that's pretty cool, right? Like, oh my god, Mesmer's just so OP in Guild Wars 1. But yeah, me and Koss, we're not pulling our weight. I reduce everyone's damage by 80, incoming damage by 80% though, so, I mean, I think I'm pretty good. Koss, will we vote him out eventually? We shall have to see. The person to get the boot last stream was actually Acolyte Sasuke, who was our previous damage carry. But I guess people didn't really like... He's just a guy from the Battle Isles. He's not very good with the story, I suppose. But yeah, so far so good. Let's quickly read about the township before we push on. Prince Meitu rules this farming community that serves as the gateway to the holdings of Chokin. Meitu has arranged for every child in the village to be taught to read and write so that someday they may join his corps of collectors and researchers who roam the world, adding volumes to his ever-expanding library. Pretty cool. I like that. They focus on scholarly things and their future generations and stuff. You know, I was thinking as well, by the way, one of the other crazy OP Mesmer skills I'm kind of interested in. So I did a video on Wooden Potatoes 2 already showing off energy surge spam. What happens if you spam tons of energy surge? And it was pretty cool. I kind of want to take that concept further and try it with other mercenary comps and other concepts. Well, one that still belongs to Mesmer that I think would be really interested is what if you put psychic instability on every single one of your heroes? So let me read this to you guys. I didn't on the previous stream because this is fast casting, not domination. Psychic instability is this. Interrupt the target foe's action. If that action is a skill, which basically means if it's anything in the fucking game. If that action is a skill, that foe and all nearby foes are knocked down for, and that says 3 seconds right now, but if you trait it up properly, it goes to 4 seconds. If you add some consumables, that might even scale up to 5 seconds. Let me just check the wiki on that. I've got to check the wiki on that. What is the highest that scales to? Does that go all the way up to 5? That's ridiculous if it does. And I'll show you why that's just so absurd. It does. It goes to 5 seconds with 19. 5 seconds. You could do that. All right, let's just make it OP for a second. Imagine that this is knocking down for 5 seconds, okay? It's on a 12-second cooldown, and you have max fast casting, or you have ridiculous fast casting anyway, which decreases the recharge of your Mesmer spells even further. So, like, just 2 copies of this on Mesmers with high enough fast casting? You basically have whole Zergs. There's no cap. There's no 5 target cap. This ain't no Guild Wars 2. You could be facing 300 enemies at once. And with the right interrupting of this, just a couple of copies, you have every single one permanently stun-locked and knocked down. Because it's an interrupt on a hero. And heroes are amazing at knocking down. Realistically, you're only going to get 4 seconds out of it. But just having 3, 4 copies of that, while the rest of the stuff they use is like Wastrel's Worry and shit, that's mental. So Snowbish also said mass keystone signet. Yeah, because that's AoE interrupts and damage too. I have been looking at that. That Guild Wars 1 YouTuber that I plugged recently did a video on keystone signet and it got me interested in it. But like, there's some kind of ridiculous... Like, you think that the energy denial on an energy surge comp is crazy. This is crazy. So I kind of want to test that out. I feel like I have a little bit more time for that there. I've got a lot of balls I'm juggling right now. Like a lot. To the point where I'm getting a bit drowned out under them. I've got so many projects that are slowly getting dead and left to the side and stuff I've got to start looking at. Oh, Cass says there is something to the north. That's where the secret city is. But the secret city is like in a cliff and underground. There are sections, I suppose you're right, where you do come out. And I suppose the truth is, like, it's just because it's on the mission map instead of the global map that you don't get a proper map there. But I do have a perspective of that being a real map, but with, like, some chasms that if you looked in, you might be able to see the hidden city kind of thing. But, yeah, you're right. And I wasn't thinking of that. What about combining that with the +1 second knockdown spirit? I think that's a Writ spirit that takes damage every time it does it, right? Which means the spirit wouldn't really proc that much. But you could trait it with, you could combine it with stuff like Brambles. So Brambles is a ranger spirit, which means anyone who gets knocked down, like, takes damage and starts bleeding. There was a lot of that going on in the Echovald Forest, and then Wardens would use knockdowns and stuff. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't see how you die if you do that. You just permanently have everything knocked down. And yeah, melee fighters might move away from casters, and the AoEs aren't going to be perfect. So here, for example, those two might be knocked down, and these ones aren't. But, I mean, Jesus. Also, you notice, look at all these interrupts coming in anyway. You see every little double exclamation mark? We never, on the last week's stream, we never got to see the power of Norgu. Whenever you see a double exclamation mark above their heads, that's panic triggering. But, you know, if you add enough copies, it's just going to be ridiculous. And then, I don't know, just have other skills that allow you to just hammer things without... I mean, the thing is, you can't take billions of copies of the Wastrel skills. Heroes don't quite work well with that, with too many copies. They won't spread the cast, I don't think. So I'm not sure how you could capitalize most on quick kills with spamming that. The reason why Energy Surge is so strong is because you get so many really fast kills with it, as well as all this like absurd denial on single targets. I'm also not sure how that works with bosses. Can you have those bosses knocked down? I'm really not aware. But here, I mean, it's in the area, guys. It's a huge AoE. In the area is about the biggest you can expect a spell to get AoE-wise. So it's crazy. WP, would you be up for a program where you, as your personality, voice, etc., was forever recorded and immortalized as an AI? You know, I think that the no-brainer is yes. I think. It would be a bit scary. I wouldn't want to beta test such a thing. I wouldn't want to run the risk of it fucking up. I wouldn't want to put my personality and my life and my fears and my consciousness into a computer that can't sustain it well and can't, you know, nurture it well, and then it ends up in pain or unfulfilled or whatever. I wouldn't want to create a version of myself that's going to be unhappy, basically. So I would want to make sure that's not true before I basically give birth to the existence of some new entity. But yeah, you're damn right. Immortality, baby, essentially. Once I'm dead and gone, that thing can keep going. Yeah, no, I am kind of drowning in balls. So what are some of the things I want to do? I want to talk about Guild Wars Launcher. I had a lovely message from the guy who did Guild Wars Launcher just the other day saying, if you want to do a video, do it now, because I'd really like the feedback. I want to do a video on Guild Wars Launcher. I talked to you guys on yesterday's stream a little bit again about some of the Oblivion problems that I've been having. I'm thinking of setting up a remastering channel where I remaster loads of old video game things. But I had a lot of enthusiasm for it, and suddenly it's just dropped off. But Shaman's been like a god in helping me with so many different things with that, so I feel like I want to set that up. But that's like a week of dedicated setting up batch files and automation and getting the PC working and making sure everything's in place. So that's like serious R&D first. And then I can just have it on autopilot, which excites me and I want to do, but it's another project. Another thing is Visual Wood ended, and I wanted to replace that initially with Concrete Duct stuff, which, again... another thing is the Geothermal Valley map completion in Tomb Raider that I'm doing at the moment, and then looking at my test play on Arena. There's another graphical thing that I was working with some guys on sort of a while ago for Guild Wars, which I haven't done. There's a machinima tool that someone on Discord has been talking to me about, which is amazing, and he did a little video on it to do with Cordicus Mana today, which I also want to take the time to look into. I was talking at the end of the stream yesterday about how I want to update all of the stream information, which is super out of date and stuff, and I've got to look at that. And I've just got regular videos I should be doing, and I haven't for the past 3 days while I've been streaming. So yeah, there's a lot of balls, and I'm drowning on them. Instead, I spent 1,000 gold on decorations, and that's been my day. I also had a haircut, but unrelated. What if it was put into lists? Oh, I don't know about that. Alright, here we go. So the princes. Matey the Wise. Are you going to be wise now, bro? He says, I thank you all for coming here. Varish's assaults thus far were merely distractions. They have subsided for now, but she will strike again. According to these texts, the nightfall is upon us. Varish will strike against the gods themselves. That means she will start with the Seoka Basilica. We have no choice. The three of us pledge our fortunes and our forces to the Sunspears. Varesh must be defeated. And now someone's running in, a commoner or something, with bad news. Okay, they should be over here. Wait for it. This person here, the messenger of Lissa. There's something I want to pick at in that dialogue there as well in a second, which is really interesting and easily forgotten. So she says, Heareth, please, I have a message from Kahani. I am being chased. Oh, Lissa, save us. You're being chased, girl? By what? And if you look, you can head these forces off outside the gate, if I remember rightly, but I don't want to risk anything. So you see people are saying, watch yourselves there. They're actually getting slaughtered at the front gates. Let's go in. Let's not let all the Vabians die just because we're being lazy. Alright, so the dialogue to pick at is Varesh is going to strike at the gods. At no other point in the story do I remember any suggestion that Nightfall was anything more... Like, there's a lot of theories where people like to be like, okay, Abaddon's the good guy, and he wanted to bring about Nightfall so that so that Tyria could be prepared for the Elder Dragons, right? There's a lot of theories like that. But when you have small lines of dialogue like that, you know, it's like the original idea and implication is that, okay, Abaddon wants to come back to Tyria. Why? Well, here they seem to suggest to strike back at the gods. Like, they didn't never really give an answer as to that why. So they're kind of curious that they say that to me. I wonder about how that... Does that undermine the Abaddon defense of Tyria, Abaddon good guy theories? What do you guys think? Alright. Thank Lissa I found you. I have an urgent message from Kahani. Something terrible is happening at the Grand Court. Please hurry. Grand Court is where we just were. So anyway, yeah, check it out. You got the 3 princes. They don't say anything. But they're going to be bros now. Oh no, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, so I could leave now, but I'm not going to. I'm going to show you guys this place. So he says, a rumor is floating around that you defeated that raving Rami Lumo in a mime duel. Remarkable. I should like to sit and speak with you for a time. Anyone who can defeat Lumos, but is that not just copy-pasted from the original Taha Korgud? Anyway, tell me about your library. I hear it's magnificent. My library is a wonder of the world, young one. Ancient scrolls, texts from Tyria, ancient ore, Istan and Corner, and all the strange places throughout the world can be found within its walls. I even have stone tablets that were found on an island far off the coast. An island that mysteriously disappeared thereafter. Ha! I see I have your attention. Yes, my library is magnificent. I encourage you to come and see for yourself. Does the let's talk about something else do you anything? Okay, so this is some of the coolest dialogue in the game. Because what I believe this is this is a Utopia reference. So let me just remind you that when they released Factions, there were hints about Alona. And in Prophecies, there were hints about Alona, but they weren't knowingly put in to be expanded on. It just so happened they did it later, probably because of hiring on incredible talent like Jeff Grubb. But in Cantha, they did a knowing nod to their next expansion, or their next campaign. And so it stands to reason that perhaps when they released Nightfall, they also did knowing nods to their next campaigns as well. Because back then, when they released Nightfall, while Nightfall was in development, they all had a roadmap ahead of them, which said Nightfall, Utopia, and then into the Great Beyond. It just so happens that as they were developing and concepting out Utopia, they got excited about having a fully persistent world, and some of the Utopia concepts weren't quite meshing, and it all evolved into Guild Wars 2, and they said, fuck it, we're going to go for it, we're going to make a whole new thing. And Utopia never came to light of day. But that doesn't mean that in Nightfall, there weren't references to Utopia. There weren't secret, sneaky little hints. And so, two of the biggest ones in all of Nightfall, I believe, and the devs have never come out and been clear about it. And the sad thing, I think, is even if you manage to secure an interview with some of these developers, I doubt they'd remember anymore. There were two big references. Sorry, I lost my place there. There are two big... I believe this is one of them. And the other one I believe is Baltec. So, here in Istan, through the Isna Isles, Mittani Keys, the Lutenda Bog, and the Farina, the First City, I think those are the maps. You have a very slim chance of meeting, like, a fat, annoying twat of a guy, basically, who has all these suggestions that he's a time traveler. And he talks a bit about prophecy, and it really seems to be about time travel. Utopia had concept art also showing things to do with time travel. One of the professions releasing in Utopia was a chronomancer. This is to do with time travel. One of the concept art pieces was called, what was it? The Tides of the City of Time? Was it called Tides of Time, or is that just the Guild Wars 2 skill? Anyway, and so there was even like some suggestions about a floating island, I think somewhere as well in Farina. Like I did a video about this years ago. You can find it on my channel. There's some stuff I'm talking about with a skybox. But here I think is another knowing nod. Why would an island suddenly and mysteriously just disappear? Well, if you're fans of Lost, you might all recall that a similar thing happens. And time travel, right? Like the idea is this island is unhinged in space-time, and that maybe it's evaporated, maybe it's disappeared because it's been dislodged. This is actually a topic I think I could do a Guild Wars 2 Mysteries on, and I've got a list of things that I'd like to do Guild Wars 2 Mysteries on, and the Baltec one has been one for a long time. That I think it would even interest Guild Wars 2 players. But the thing is, so much of Utopia concept, themes, styles, enemy concepts and things got kind of just shifted and changed into things that are now part of Guild Wars 2. like, destroyers were originally antagonists of Utopia, which means destroyers probably initially had some kind of time travel-y element to them. So whether this really affects any stories in the future anymore, and is not just a bit of development trivia, I don't know. I'm leaning more towards development trivia. But yeah, it's very cool, isn't it? They have text here from Ancient Ore, Istan Corner, all the strange places throughout the world, even some stone tablets that were found on an island far off the coast. The other thing is an island that mysteriously disappeared thereafter. The other thing is stone tablets from an island. You've also got the idea of the Isles of Janthir, and the tablets of Janthir were stone tablets preaching about the Messiah and this kind of more religious side to the White Mantle. That came from Janthir, these isles. People have tried to make connections there as well because, you know, maybe the idea of an island, isles, stone tablets all being connected together. Maybe that's all cool. But yeah. And to think, I almost missed talking about that on the stream. I genuinely did. I was not thinking about that at all today. And Bokka didn't say anything, so I almost just walked off. Let's see if Amta says anything. Nope, he doesn't either. So this is the Great Library. I'm going to keep my team over there, because Master of Whispers sort of clutters the screen up with all of his things. And one of the excellent things that they did in Nightfall, again, is they learned that you could do explorable maps and you didn't have to coat them with mobs every turn. Now that we've done the quest, we can explore this library if you guys like. So let me just give you a good perspective again of the entrance to it. Alright, so we've got like the floating bridges here. And we'll run out. It's a big old game, so might take a while. Got a nice river under us. We're moving on in, deeper still. And now, again, in my Nightfall Let's Play, I did the comprehensive talk to everyone. That's not going to happen here. Librarian Kahalarari says, everyone gets so caught up with magical creatures and demons, they forget to catalogue the natural world. The natural wonder story of normal animals. I'm currently working on the definitive work on warhogs. So what her name is going to be a reference to some forum user way back when, who was genuinely invested in the lore and speculated about the lore ages ago. Very few of these people are left in the community. Some of them are, not all. So, you know, that kind of sucks. Here we got Malaruk. But yeah. So this guy's researching the Titans. Very little is known about them. They were nebulous beings of pure energy, but were they spirits, elementals? We just don't know. Now, if you'll excuse me, so many text to read, so little time. And that theory of Titans being spirits, by the way, is still very, well, actually, no, it's not. I'm lying to you. There is something about the fact that they're spirits, though, and this could be why they were able to defeat the Messiah so handily. I remember this map because the northwest, there's some magical floaty things. Oh, really? Oh, you mean this map here, the Holdings of Chokin. So we got Gahish here. Being surrounded by all this knowledge and history gives me a sense of peacefulness. One could be lulled to sleep among the stacks. And look how beautiful this is. This appeared in the Nightfall trailer. You know we remastered the Prophecies one recently? Oh, gosh. I missed a donation half an hour ago. Show also who's bosser. I will, Times Lament. Oh, my God. I'm so grateful to you, dude. You donate so frequently. And I honestly, I feel I don't know how... I just hope you're happy with what you're doing, because honestly, I don't know how that can be rewarding to donate to a stream like mine. Thank you so much, though. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, and thank you for the resubs, guys. This is awesome. Or actually, welcome to Whisty 10 minutes ago, who's never been here before. But yeah, we remastered the Prophecies trailer. Then you had the Factions one. The Nightfall one was not official CGI, sadly. There is like a wiki page showing off some of the storyboarding and things. Oh, that's a good idea. Let me think of something. It shows off some of the storyboarding and stuff. But the Nightfall one was in-game. And one of the places that they did, though, was this. Because, I mean, seriously, look at it. It's gorgeous. You imagine me as Santa. Dude, I'm so far away from Santa in the way I look. Actually, you can feel free to imagine me as Santa. Sure. That's good. Careful, these bones aren't what they used to be. I'm sure they're not. You've got the pillows here. Got a noble. Anyway, this is a fantastic place. Here we have a quest. I don't remember getting a quest here. What does the quest revolve around? Oh, hi there. You caught me in the middle of my research. I made a recent discovery about a rather hardy desert flower that has far-reaching medicinal benefits. I can extract matter from its buds to treat night blindness, appetite loss, and depression with only mild hallucinogenic side effects. My problem? I'm having difficulty procuring more samples. I hear the Garden of Saborin has a number of these rare plants. Speak to horticulturist Hinyan and see if you can bring me more specimens. So yeah, there's another, like, area we could go to right now. I'll grab this, because why not? There's another area we could go to. I think that's the story of the hedge wizards and stuff, and why there are living plants in Elena. But you can actually re-enter the Garden of Saborin as an explorable area if you speak to the horticulturalist Hinyan. What did that guy say? Your assertions are nebulous or something? I believe you're mistaken on a few points. You really don't understand what I'm saying at all, do you? This is not the point at all. I think this... So these are like forum conversations. Not every so-called sacred text can be taken as gospel. Are we to believe that the authors of the various prophecies and manuscripts are all totally reliable? Could they not be mistaken or lying? Same with the idea of an unreliable narrator there. Anyway, yeah, it's great. It's a great area. I'm not going to stall the story for much longer than that. Probably one of my favourite places, if not in Nightfall, in the franchise. I mean, what's to complain about, really? As a lore enthusiast, I cannot think of anything better for a developer to do for you. You know? Except, maybe, adding, like, I don't know, like an upgrade component or something. And, like, it sounds a bit like your name. And, like, the icon for the item looks a little bit like your icon. That would be pretty cool, too. That's a pretty high honor as well. I don't know, just throwing that out there. Just on the odds that they might ever think about doing that. Alright, Pledge of the Merchant Princes. Hurry to the Mirror of List and investigate. Alright, Grand Court. I'm actually RuPaul. RuPaul. WP is actually the tallest, thinnest man in the UK. It's amazing his identity has remained a secret this long. I'm loving the guesses. For a full Hall of Monuments in 3 months, if you're really hardcore and dedicated, that's pretty interesting. It's a lot faster than I would have expected. Like, a lot faster. Considering I sunk about 5,000 hours worth of investment into this game around the time that the Hall of Monuments calculator came out. And, you know, I wanted every single one of those hours to be rewarded. To think that someone can be on equal footing to me as God walking amongst mere mortals and stuff in just 3 months is kind of... Would have left a very sour in my taste, but left a very sour taste in my mouth a few years back. Alright. Oh, what is this? Heroes, please. Oh, no, we've already heard that. What is this? Just among these people, we got some Corn and Oppressors, Corn and Zealot, Corn and Seer, Corn and Priest, but they're allied. These guys should be trying to kill us outright, right? A Zealot and... Oh, who's this, guys? General Morgan, lover of Lyssa. Lower your weapons! We are no longer your enemies. An atrocity was committed here. Please allow me to explain. Morgan, you've been in a battle between your faith and your country. How's that going for you? The princes were blinded to Varish's threat by their greed and opulence. I was blinded by loyalty and honor. Lyssa has taught me to look past the illusions in which I encase myself. For the first time in my life, I can see as clear as day. Morgan? Put down your weapons. I am no longer your enemy. Let me show you what happened. I will show you how these old, blind eyes were taught to see. For now, Morgan, you have our peace. Thank you. When you're ready, I will show you why.
You must understand. I have known Varishasa since she was a child. She was always driven, smart, and strong in her beliefs. When the darkness took her, I remained blind and loyal. Kahani.
Morgan? You've come to rescue us?
What has happened? The temple.
Varesh. flesh attacked us. Demons. Everyone dead. Slaughtered.
I remained blind until it was too late.
Abaddon, Jahana Almighty Abaddon!
Perish! What have you done?
I have done what is necessary, old friend, for the good of my God and my land.
You have washed this holy place in blood. You promised to spare my priests.
A small promise easily broken for the greater good. You would not have understood.
You must stop this.
It is too late to stop. This part of the ritual is complete. The walls of my lord's prison are being torn away, and torment is swallowing the world.
I will stop you myself.
You are badly outnumbered, old friend.
My men!
More blood for my rituals.
Mistress, he escapes.
Let him go. He is broken. We are needed elsewhere. Leave the blasphemy here to rot this world. Nightfall is at hand.
Alright, so I've told you guys before about two of my old stupid geeky ambitions about this franchise and things that I've got to admit, even to this day, I still think about. One of them was an idea of a total conversion when I was heavily into modding Oblivion, doing a total conversion that would do a really detailed new perspective look, and it was a recreation of the Nightfall story. And the idea of that, well, okay, so that's one. And then the other one is the idea of a movie, a film. People have asked me many times, and I've often fantasized over many years the idea of a film for this franchise, and it would always be Nightfall for me every time. But for both of these concepts, I'm in love with the idea of them being trilogies, right? And the points that I'd end the movies or the game or whatever at these trilogies that I always wanted. This was the end of the second movie. Okay, so the first movie I would have, it would end at, and this might seem too early, but I really don't think it is. The first movie or the first game or whatever would be Istan, at the end of Istan. So all of it would be build up and intrigue and learning about Cormyr and getting associated with Cormyr and this other twat spear marshal that steps in for a little while, and you'd have the mystery and you'd have the adventure of Farina, the first city, and you'd have the beauty and the piratey kind of Pirates of the Caribbean style experiences of the scene set at the Matani Keys and the Corsairs and stuff, and then it would be like this big ramp up. Imagine like a heist movie kind of narrative pacing style, where you find out your end objective, and then at the start of the third act, it's all this big like montage of prep, and there's a lot of stakes. So it would be that kind of like beat, right, where you're it's not a heist, obviously, though. It's about going to war, and it's all about building for war and the epic attack on Gandhara. And this is why this works as a movie. You might think, oh, that's not much story for a whole movie, but you can really, if you do a build up to a battle well enough and a battle itself well enough, that's a lot of airtime you can kill on that. That's like 40 minutes to an hour easy. And it's not about killing airtime; it's about giving stories the length they need. But the movie would end. What can I say? I steal from some of one of my favorite trilogies of all time is the Lord of the Rings trilogy from Peter Jackson. Okay, and I love the structure of that movie where it's very adventure-ish and it's very light-hearted and I don't want to say shallow, but it's kind of clear what direction we're going in for the Fellowship. And the beautiful thing about the way that the Fellowship ends is everything just suddenly turns on its head. The Fellowship is completely broken. All the characters you've come to know and love who've banded together are suddenly split up all over the place, and it's really uncertain what the fuck is going on, and people are in an alien situation at the end of the first movie. And that is such a great sting for building an audience who'd be interested in the next movie. So I always wanted the first movie to end at the defeat at Gandhara. Always. And that, it's like, oh shit, they lost. Oh my god, is Cormyr dead? Is Kos dead and missing? Blah, blah, blah. And, you just basically steal that exact same thing. Anyway, movie 2 is re-establishing yourself with the world, but it's not like one party going through the whole time. You're cutting between Morgan and Varesh and getting to know Morgan very well, and you do still detest him from the first movie or game again. But I would have it flitting back to Istan and as well, watching how they're preparing for an incoming naval strike, like the counter-strike from the Cornans, and kind of this scary attempt to slip through and get into Vabby and, saving costs and all this stuff. Showing the flaws of the princes, and again, you've got your beautiful stuff as well. Like, I think here you've got there's so much to talk about in the second movie. But the second movie ends here at the Grand Court of Sebulka, where, again, everything seems to have taken a turn for the worse. But the stinger on this one is there's a glimmer of hope at the end. So one of the things that they could expand on so much better, if you were to do a movie or another retelling of this story that I really think you could hone into, is you kind of have a character for this chapter. So the second movie or whatever, this part of the story, you've got Kahani, right? Kahani would only be introduced in this movie, obviously. She's come out of nowhere, but she's kind of like a friend of yours, and she's your assistant, and she's so important for so much of how you've got so far in Vabby. She got you into the Orchid. And very similar to how in The Lord of the Rings as well, you start seeing a lot more of the political intrigue, and you start seeing, like, how much deeper things go as soon as you get into, like, the Two Towers and beyond. It's kind of the similar formula here as well, because you start getting more of that political backdrop here in Vabby and seeing the opulence of the princes. And there's still that magic and adventure there and stuff. But Kahani's, like, could be, if Kahani was in a movie, you could really do that character justice, okay? And what happens in the story is Kahani dies here at the Grand Court, right? She is killed, and that is like such a great, I think, climax to the second movie. Kahani dies, you've come to know and love her, you make her sickeningly lovable, right? To the point where savvy filmgoers know it's coming, the death is coming kind of thing. But you kill her off, you have like this really tragic moment, you ham it up hard. I'm talking Stilton levels of cheese, okay? And Morgan's storyline, I don't want to say concluding, but hitting its next moment where he joins you, and now you're really excited, and also Nightfall is starting to come in the concluding chapters of the second movie. The narrative's hitting some real pace again, some real momentum, because she's succeeding. These places are getting destroyed. You show the slaughter in this temple as graphically as you have to really hone in on people that this is getting quite dark. The tendrils are appearing everywhere. What I'd probably include in the conclusion of this movie as well, not the retaking of the Grand Court. What you're going to see in the game here is when we finish this mission, the game reveals to us that Varesh is slipping off into the desolation. She's ran off. I would have that in the second movie, but not the reclaiming of the Grand Court. And yeah, the third movie is everything from the Grand Court, saving that, the pursuit into the desolation, and the third movie is much more about hunting your enemy. And the third movie would be great because, again, like, I'm only just sort of appreciating how much I like this, because I feel like it's very similar in, like, beats to Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings has two epic moments in the third movie, The Return of the King. It's got the Battle of Minas Tirith, which is, like, honestly steals the show with the way that Jackson did it, unfortunately. And then you have the Battle for Middle-earth at the end. Well, with this Nightfall trilogy, you kind of get a similar thing. You have the battle with Varesh, and then the battle against Abaddon. Hopefully that's not too big of a spoiler at the very end, right? Like, I don't know. I think it could work. This works. This has everything. This is probably the best description and reasoning I've ever given for why any time someone asks me, "Hey, what would you do for a Guild Wars movie? What would you want to see?" That's my explanation. That's why it's Nightfall every single time. I feel like the pacing, everything about it is structured so well to serve as a movie trilogy. It's just so perfect. And a lot of the character development that you get on Dunkoro and stuff, for example, right at the end, how much closer you could feel to Cormyr and stuff. Factions, it just hangs limply. It is really, really weirdly paced. Like, when you look at the weird, we're helping them in the Kurziks and the Luxons, and they're at war, but they're not at the war, and we're going to help them a bit, and then we're going to go back, and then we've got the thing with the urn and the spear, and that worked, but it didn't really work, and then right at the end it gets a little bit more, sense to it. Factions isn't good. And Prophecies wasn't good either. Prophecies is an excuse for a world tour and doesn't work as a movie. The only thing that would work for Prophecies as a movie is a movie about the Ascalon stuff. Like, I'm not talking about Devonna, Aiden, and so forth's perspective. I'm talking about or even like Gwen's. I'm saying you do a movie where you introduce a bunch of entirely new characters almost that interact with people like Barradin, perhaps, but it's their perspective on the Searing and the years just before and after it, or something like that, and you'd fix it on that. That's about all you can really get out of Prophecies, I think, unless you're deviating massively and you're doing a movie about the actual Guild Wars and things without much lore precedent. Nightfall, man. Nightfall is just so well structured. And I'm a big fan of Morgan. Morgan's probably... He's almost useless as a hero because he's a paragon. But he's one of my favourite characters for what they did to him here. I honestly think Morgan is a character... doesn't have many equals in Guild Wars 2. Kanak is probably getting close. Kanak's a pretty good character and has been treated quite well, I would say. And there are a handful of other Guild Wars 2 characters, but, you know, like, there are very strong reasons why I think this is the height of their storytelling. There are a lot of great writers out there. It's very important to get dedicated writers. Like, honestly, the jump from the pacing and the way that you tell a story and what is loaded into it, from Prophecies to and Factions to Nightfall, is huge. I don't know how much... The only staff change I know is that Jeff Grubb came on. A very accomplished author in his own right and with his own works, came on at the start of Nightfall. And you're seeing these massive improvements. I don't know what else happened. It was like they were crap in all regards for Prophecies. Then they learned how to world build really well with Factions, but they still weren't telling a good story. And then in Nightfall, they world built really well and told a great story. Like, it's just, it's phenomenal. It's fantastic. Minecraft is getting a movie, so I sure hope Guild Wars will get them, says Brother Holmes. Well, yeah, I mean, the World of Warcraft movie was apparently divisive to its fans, but a good enough movie in its own right. That'd be a really long second movie, though, wouldn't it, says Regno? Gandara securing and building up the refuge, rescuing Kos. No, Gandara happened in the first movie. The first movie ends with the destruction, with the failed assault. It doesn't end on it. What I consider a bad cliffhanger, okay, is you do a massive build up to the attack, and then you end with the boats looking at Gandara. To me, I mean, that is a very powerful shot to end a movie on, and you would get a lot of people watching the sequel. But especially when you're doing a film adaptation of a story people already know, and you already know it's a failed attack, I think that's a bad idea. What I consider a good cliffhanger is people being defeated here. People are defeated here, and you're uncertain as to what's happened. You know, there's a difference between setting certainty up and then cutting it off, a la the most recent Walking Dead finale, and having a sudden change of events that leaves you wondering what the hell's going to happen, and then cutting it off, right? Like, so movie 2 would be just the Cornan regrouping, nipping back to Istan, flashes to Istan and the Varesh stuff going on. And yet, there are bits I would contract, like, for example, Codner Crossroads. That's probably an arc I wouldn't add. I would include the Centaurs, they'd have involvement, and Zed would get the character building he needs. But do we actually need the Codner Crossroads section? I don't think so. I would actually take some of the side quests, which build up the drought, and the reliance on the river, and all that, over the Codner Crossroads. Because the movie sort of ends... No, it doesn't end, but a big feature of the movie is the drought, right? You could even have a little bit of the drought in the attack on Gandara. Like, you would change stuff. I'm not one of these people that thinks you absolutely have to follow the source material. You can improve on the source material in many ways. And yeah, I would swap and change things around. But yeah, I don't think it's too long of a movie. I mean, if you're trying to do Zagna Bastion and the city, now we're talking, yeah, it's getting a bit long. So you have to fiddle with stuff. The other idea is obviously that everyone likes is the 10-episode HBO series, right? And this is season 2 after Gandara to here, and then season 3 is, you know, that's always the other one people like to do. Pacing is quite good in LOTR. The writers talked a lot about how to cut the film to good pieces, so there was enough structure and pacing. I still think Two Towers is the most boring one. Two Towers has got the best score though, so it's okay for me. I was thinking yesterday if we'll ever get a medieval fantasy movie that's as good as LOTR was, but Tolkien kind of did the groundwork. One of the saddest things to me is reading the difference in in preparation for the Lord of the Rings, the original trilogy, compared to the amount of winging they had to do it in The Hobbit. Alright, anyway, sorry. I'm probably gonna skip a few messages here. Isn't Gandara also where Pogan Passage is, though? Would we see both the Cormyr part of the story as well as the other split stories? Yeah, I don't know. I've never really thought that much about it, or that deeply. I have thought a lot about it, but would we see? So Cormyr being recaptured, yeah, is pretty important. I don't know. Maybe you'd cut the drought out altogether then, because the drought is more of the filler arc. That's true. You can't get around it. The drought is the filler arc. The movie works better if you focus on the recapturing of Cormyr, saving Cormyr, and then I mean, that's the kind of thing where on a movie format, if you don't give it the real time it needs, it's going to look really fucking stupid. Because you've just ended a film and made an epic deal out of an assault on the city, and then if you whiz through a second assault on the city in 10 minutes, and it's such an important part, then that's going to... So yeah, maybe you introduce the drought, maybe you allude to it, maybe you put it in there as like some very slight references and Easter eggs for the fans, but you don't go into that storyline in full, but instead you focus on Pogan Passage. I think Pogan Passage is the important one. And then maybe you do the same up here with the Hidden City and Zagana Bastion. I think you would do the Hidden City here as well, because the Bastion, in terms of a film, it feels like another massive epic battle, and I don't think it slots in too well. So maybe you talk about how that battle's going on, but we focus on the heist of the city. Hey, welcome, Plantastically. Long-time YouTube follower, I'm very glad. Who would I want to direct a Guild Wars movie? I don't know, I'm not that good with directors, honestly. I'm not that good with directors. And I feel like a lot more of it comes down to the writing than the directing. When you can have, like, incredible serialized TV shows that swap and change the director, like, every fucking episode, but they make an incredible, coherent story, can you really say it's the directors of the product? I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't need anyone to do anything groundbreaking in terms of the direction, I don't think. I just need someone who can follow the script well and who has passion for the franchise. That's what's important, that someone's passionate about the story that they're bringing to life. And obviously has the talent to match. So, you know, I don't care if we do Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban style thing. Where wasn't that like a porno director that did that, right? Like his most famed productions before were in adult entertainment. Am I right about that, or is that just an urban myth I heard years ago? You know, maybe I think that when it comes to film adaptations of something like this, the place that you mess up is in the writing room. That's where the most important decisions get made. Well, not the most, many of the important decisions get made. The more time passes from The Hobbit, the more I realise how disappointed I was with it. I was incredibly disappointed with that trilogy. In fact, I've never walked out on a movie at the cinema, ever. Never. Not once in my life. And I very rarely even get the urge, if ever. But the third Hobbit film, I really had the urge. Not because I think that they're these awful, awful, awful movies, but because I wanted so much more. Because I do hold the Lord of the Rings in such a high regard. Like, such a ridiculously high regard. And I watch them so frequently. Any writer, I think, would do a good job then. No, I'm not smart enough for that. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I don't watch enough fantasy adaptations or fantasy movies, or I wouldn't know who has the credentials really to. I don't know. I consume enough media and pay enough attention to who's on the writing staff of the media that I do consume to have a great answer for that, unfortunately. The one thing I can say is I would want at least enough. I'd want, obviously, ArenaNet and people who helped script and plan this story out and what's important to them have a stake in it, definitely. And I would want everyone who's a part, everyone in charge of large creative decisions to have played this and to have understood it. Not to have just played the game, but to have played the game and understood how to access the quests and you know, not been bogged down in other crap, right? I don't want you to miss out on what's important about the Istan story because you still haven't quite figured out what a rune is, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And you're still struggling with the user interface. Director, not a big deal as long as there is a good direction. I mean, the director needs to understand what are the important moments, but I think that can be done when they're assessing the script rather than... Look, we're in the middle of the story, alright? This is it. This is the climax of movie 2, guys. There were no sequels to The Matrix? What? Maybe The Hobbit was just one movie? I don't know whether I believe that, actually. I reckon it could have worked well as a trilogy. I do think it could have worked well as a trilogy, but the way that they padded it out in order to make it a trilogy didn't work. I don't know. I could talk about a lot about The Hobbit, and I'm not going to. So we've been here for a while. Alright, nightfall is nigh. Varys stormed in and started slaughtering everyone while you were busy with the princes. She left behind a great demon. It's atop the temple. Okay, so let me just... somebody mentioned in chat earlier, and they were totally right. This can get like a very hard mission. This can get quite overwhelming. Talcor is the required hero here, by the way. Now, the reason this can get quite overwhelming is because it's kind of like a snowball-y mission. You've got to be quick. You've got to hit the mobs hard. You've got to hit them fast, and then you've got to keep pushing. All right. So hopefully we do well. But I remember struggling on this, especially in hard mode. But Lissa's blessing may be found in all beautiful things, for all things are beautiful in their own way. We're ready to purge the demons from this temple. The Seoka Basilica is completely overrun by demons. I fear it may not be possible to save it from falling into darkness. I can transport you into the temple when you're ready to end this nightmare. Another thing about that idea of the first movie as well, doesn't look like it covers much ground, but it actually does a lot, is, don't forget, I play a lot of Guild Wars. You watching this probably play a lot of Guild Wars. There's a lot of stuff we kind of just take for granted that we already understand about the world that film also would have to go into. So stuff like what is Tyria? Okay, well, who are the gods? Maybe you don't have to go into the other continents' interpretations of what those things are, but there's actually a lot of groundwork you have to go into even before you can even start layering actual characters and events that are contemporary to this specific story on top. And you have to be very clever about the way you do that, too. To do that in a very short window of screen time is incredibly difficult. And so I would give them more time for the first movie, basically. And hope they don't bog it down too much. Anyway, so check it out, right? So the mission doesn't do anything until I move. It's one of those cool missions where they give you as much time as you want while you're standing here. But so you'll notice... Should we be cheeky? I'm going to do it. Here you go. Okay. So you will notice, okay, that this is the temple. How cool is this, by the way? Seriously, look at this. Oh, it's a shame that's there. But so this is the Mirror of Bliss, right? This is the temple that's up here. Oh my god, this is amazing. Jesus Christ. Look, the whole freaking map's here. I did not think they'd have the whole map here. Well fucking done. That's so cool. Alright, so this is the Seoka Basilica, okay? The demon atop it is called the Blasphemy, who's just been thrown in here at the last minute, basically. But there are 3 torment rifts, okay? You've got one here, one here, one here. These 2 are protected by groups of enemies and a single torment claw, okay? So what we need to do is close all of these rifts by standing at them. So up here, so you've got rift, rift, rift. This is like a conquest capture node, except it's got 4 points of energy regeneration at all times. So if you stand 8 people on it, it will get -4 and you'll cap it nice and quickly. Once you cap it, the rift will disappear. And we need to close all 3 at once. The twist is that there's a demon called the Blasphemy, which is going to keep charging out of these. And he casts an ability that pulses their health back up, and he can reopen rifts. A further twist is when you kill the Blasphemy, to stop him doing this, he's quite squishy. When you kill the Blasphemy, he explodes into unbound energy that does crap tons of damage to your guys. At the same time, mobs are going to keep charging out of all of these. So it's quite tough. Last thing to understand is right here in the middle is the Altar of Lissa. This kind of peculiar triangle. And what the Altar of Lissa also has its own health bar. So if all the demons charge out of their portals and come here and we don't contest this and they catch the Altar of Lissa, it's over. So the idea of the mission is that I'm not here doing camera stuff, okay? The idea is that we've just charged in and all these mobs are going to run in and they're going to try and cap it. So the second I press W, A, S, or D, all the a wave of mobs from over there and a wave of mobs from over there are going to run in and try and cap the order. So our first job is to kill those initial assaults. Then we have to push out and get these and start dealing with the Blasphemy. So that's the mission. I don't know how easy or hard we'll find it. I've got no idea. I mean, we have a panic Mesmer. He's not level 20, and we have save yourselves. So as long as I maintain my uptime on it, we should be all right. Let's see how it goes. 3, 2, 1, in we move. So look at the minimap. Talcora says, we're almost out of time, and we'll have to stop the Blasphemy from claiming the Order of Lyssa, or we'll be lost. So I'm just going to move in. You've got to be very careful here of over aggro, which is what Kos just did. Do you see how Kos ran in there like a fucking nut job? And then aggroed all the mobs that were over by the portal as well. Yeah, that you generally don't want to do. So we might wipe right off the bat. This mission is hardest at the start because this is where most mobs are. Do you see how over there, loads of mobs are standing there but not fighting us? Yeah, over here, all of them are fighting us except for a single cleric. Yeah, that's because of Kos and because I didn't flag properly. But here we've got a big fight to do. So right now you want to look closely at the health bar of everyone on my team, which you'll notice is getting pretty low. But also on the top right at the Order of Lyssa, you want to make sure that that doesn't start getting capped. So we have to kill fast as well, because if we don't kill fast, more waves are going to spawn before we've dealt with the first ones. So it looks like we do have a reasonable amount of sustain here. Let's clear out these 4 Marganites if we can. Looks like we got this, guys. This fight here, at least. Talcora's getting hit hard. Save yourselves. She is in range. Let's get our ballad up. Let me try and get it again. My uptime on save yourselves is really crappy. Dunkoro just got nuked. I'm wondering why. Don't forget, another reason why we snowball is because... Oh, look, the Well of Silence. That's interesting. I couldn't cast any shouts while I was in it. Another reason for us snowballing is the Master of Whispers gets stronger as more bodies have appeared, and he can get more minions. And then the future Marganites start fighting the minions instead. Norgu died. So if we can just stabilize, we might be alright. That's really annoying that I'm getting obstructed there. I'm going to have to basically spam Signet of Synergy on cooldown here. There we go. Let's do that again. Come on, Zed. Heal up, buddy. Heal up. Come on, dude. Why is it not attacking? Fucking hell. Oh my god, this Well of Silence is hitting me on the... Oh man, wait, this is tough. Come on, kill the Warlock. There we go. Alright, we've got our stuff. We're stabilizing ever so slightly right now, I think. So I think this is one of the missions where getting Masters, by the way, is all about completing it quickly. There's also a point where you'd not want to live in that shithole, but have a nice quiet life in the Matrix. Really? What are we talking about? Alright, so here we go. So, we've stabilized. One of us is dead. Hopefully we can get Dunkoro up. Hopefully he's not the only one with a goddamn res. There we go, he's up. Alright, good. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to press over to this Torment Claw, and we're going to try and kill it. The thing is, though, please interrupt that Torment Slash. Something interrupt the slash. Oh, God. The Torment Slash is really hurt. Just FYI. Okay, so the thing is, because I'm not at the altar anymore, look, a patrol ran in, and they're capping it. Can you see the altar of... oh, there you go. It's not a patrol, it was the Blasphemy. Alright, so the Blasphemy will keep spawning from this point on. And he's going to keep going into the middle altar, and he's going to try and cap it while he's there. And so now he dies. You see, we get all these unbound energies, which do these ridiculous nukes of damage. So we've got to protect ourselves. Alright, so there, we got a little bit of time. Alright, no patrols are spawning. Blasphemy's not up. I'm going to run over to this rift here. And we're going to decap it, okay? We're going to try and keep ourselves up here. I could use Signet of Synergy on minions, I guess. So keep capping the rift. I did this without my UI on my Mesmer comp, by the way. And I was like, well, the rift's closing because it takes longer than you'd expect. So here the rift's dead. But if you watch the Blasphemy, when he runs into the middle now, he's going to cast Summon Torment. Now, if he finishes that cast... He didn't. He got interrupted. That's good. Now, if he finished that cast, though, the rift we just closed would have gained health and reopened. Believe it or not. Genuinely would have. Now, he'll do it when he gets to the Altar of Lyssa, but he'll also do it when he spawns. And he'll spawn at either of these portals. So there, you see he spawned, and the rift we closed earlier just got some health. Because he did it when he spawned. And he's going to do it again when he runs in now. And he gets faster and stuff afterwards. So hopefully we can interrupt this summon torment here now. Alright, we didn't. And you see how they got even more health. Because none of my heroes are actually listening to my calls to swap target. That's fine. The Altar of Lyssa is getting capped though. Because all these unbound energies count as enemies. Now you might think that I'm losing progress. And this is going to take a million years. But we have made permanent progress over there. From killing this Torment Claw. So there you go. Altar of Lyssa is largely decapped. That Torment Claw's dead. That Blasphemy. If we'd interrupted that, that would have been great. I'm not used to having Mesmers like this. But here, so now we can decap this rift. Now the original one we had is on 50% again already. And you might think, oh, maybe I should go over there to decap it further. But the thing is, once we close this rift, there's only one left. Which means there's only one place now. There you go. The Blasphemy just died there. We got really lucky on the roll there. What that means is now the Blasphemy will only ever spawn at the last portal. So all we have to do is just go fight at the last portal. And we can hopefully interrupt him and stop him. And yeah, there's a few mobs there. And yeah, the Unbound Energy can do a lot of damage to us right now. But generally, we should be alright. And there you go. That's how the mission goes. So there, he got interrupted on his first cast. And hopefully we'll kill him before his second one. How is that a dodge? Guys, kill. Kill. Thank you, Kos. Kos, I either love you or I hate you, man. There you go. So the Unbound Energy is capping the altar. So I just flagged everyone back for a second. Torment Claws caught back here on the minions. My rotations will have been really bad. I'm sort of doing a bit of a high level look at stuff right now. Blasphemy again. And he's dead again. The final Marganite. And now we're decapping the rift. So you see how Zed died there? Zed died because of these Unbound Energies, which have got like this weird component. I can't quite remember how they work. But they're really weird. It is risky going to this last one. That's weird. He doesn't seem to be casting on spawn anymore. There you go. 3 of 3 rifts captured. And that should be the end of the mission. Unless I have to decap the progress from this. I don't think I do. Maybe we just have to kill the Unbound Energy on that last one. And there you go. We've saved the temple. No more rifts. And Varesh has been pushed out. Let's just walk over here just in case we have to do this. Yeah, we didn't. And there you go, guys. That's the mission.
The beast is dead.
But its mistress still lives. She goes to finish the spell.
Where is she going?
Into the desolation. To the mouth of torment. She seeks to unleash her dark god on the world.
Then we will go after her.
I would like to join you in your hunt.
No, that's impossible.
Please. My blind devotion has doomed my nation, my faith, and my soul. I must help to stop her.
I understand. But no.
Yes.
Talcora?
You and your friends took me in and taught me to be a hero. You gave me the chance to do the right thing. Can we deny him the same chance?
You are right, Talcora. General Morgan?
I am a general no longer. Only a man.
Morgan, then. You may come with us. You shall have your chance to redeem yourself.
You will not regret it.
We'll see about that.
The blasphemy?
Dead. Morgan was more resourceful than I thought.
We should go back and slay them all.
No. Abaddon calls me. I can feel him call me.
This world is wounded and will be swallowed by torment.
With Abaddon's blessing, we shall cross the sulphurous wastes and return the dark god to his throne.
Hail, Abaddon!
Hail, almighty Abaddon. This world will be yours.
Look how corrupted and Marganite she was getting. Do you see like all the extra like eye bits on her forehead? There we go. So we took so long, we only got the standard reward. But as nightfall that's the end of the chapter, guys. As nightfall stretches across Alona, the Sun Spears must pursue Varesh into the wastes of the desolation. Yeah, I'd chop and change some of that. Yes, Morgan Freeman would be a great casting call for General Morgan. The thing is, though, I don't know, if it was a decade ago, maybe? But it's quite an active role, and the guy is getting on a little bit now. So, I don't know, maybe it's a golden opportunity that's a little bit missed. We need someone in film, like a gold class guy that can fill that in. But yeah. So somebody asked me what my opinion is on whether Doom is awake or active. I don't really know. They've been ambiguous about the story. I think it's something you can speculate about and come to your conclusion. But my point on it these days is they've just left it as another open door for themselves, and I don't view it as one that they're going to look at for a while. There was like a suggestion there's some issues in the underworld with the Shadow Behemoth and stuff, and that little area in Kessex Hills, the skill thing, the portal. But, you know, how much of it Doom is Doom related? How much Doom's going to be related? You know, the skeletons of Doom and stuff I think were originally introduced with Halloween stuff in Guild Wars 1. You know, they got a lot of story threads I think that they'll pick up before they look at that, so, I don't know. Don't really have any interesting thoughts, sorry. Alright, okay, no. There's also the point... Oh, no. Jesus, I keep rereading the same comments that I've already seen. Scrolling up too far. I would have said no too. Did I just guilt trip Morgan? Did Morgan join us yet? Is it when we talk to Zero? You guys have got to vote in a second. WP, if they address the story of Doom, do you think they'll be able to pull it off well? Yeah, I do. I think they would. Did he already get us? We did already get him, and I missed his little dialogue. Sorry, because I was looking at Twitch chat. Well, there you go, guys. So this is the vote now already. We haven't really rolled into this very well. I didn't sort of talk about it much. But so the way that these streams have been working, if this is your first time at one of these streams, this is kind of Twitch plays Nightfall in a weird way. Like every high level decision you guys are making, every member of my party right now, every attribute line they're running and all their elite skills, that has all come from Twitch. It's from you guys, and so you get to vote again. We just got a new party member. That means we have to kick someone. So, you are going to be able to go to straw poll. If you have bettertwitch.tv, you don't even have to leave the website. I'm going to post a straw poll for you guys, though, and your job is to tell me which of our player heroes here we're going to kick. So, the options are going to be Koss the boss, friend of ours. We gave them a pretty cool knockdown build. Is the lowest damage in the team outside of me at the moment. Really isn't pulling his weight, but is probably doing a lot in terms of like putting weakness and blinds and knockdowns and things like that. Okay, so could be stopping us from dying. Hard to tell. He's very low damage though. We gave him a nice new armor. We dedicated some Sunspit armor to him on a previous stream. So he's looking more badass than regular Koss. He's, of course, had lots of fun little comments for us as we've gone through. So kind of cool guy, bad build. Maybe we can change his build. It's up to you guys. We've got Maloney, who so far in the story hasn't been that likable and hasn't done that much stuff. She is required for the next quest. Both Koss and Maloney are. So, maybe I should do the next quest. No, if you want to kick her, you want to kick her. She's going to get a little bit of story here, though. Actually, no, never mind, guys. We're going to do the vote in a minute. Remember what I said? Let me just run through everyone else, though. We'll do the vote in a minute after this quest. But we've also got Master of Whispers, Leader of the Order of Whispers, good friend of ours, excellent build. We've got Zed Shadowhoof, who was a bit of a douche, but at the end of the day, he's a centaur. Got that disease meta avoidance there. We've got Talcora, who is like the fun little princess lady that's been hanging out with us for a while. Helped us peg all the Corsair issues back on Istan. Isn't pampered, doesn't want the pampered life, wants to adventure, has pulled her weight generally. Pretty integral to the group in terms of support because she's one of our only defenders. We've got Dankoro, who again is smiting and healing and helping us out. The tactician, right hand to all of Cormier's plans, has been with us for a long time. Very wise, has bigger role to play in the story coming up as well. And then lastly, we got the comic buffoon, theatre performer and stylish money man of Vabby, Norgu, who has also got an excellent build in terms of disruption and doing lots of damage. So these are going to be our choices. But before you vote on either Kos or Maloney, I want you to consider this next quest, which is another vote for you. So here we go. Zerai says, Varesh's crusade west through the desolation has weakened the barrier between our world and the Nightmare Realm. Already, many suffer terrible nightmares as Abaddon... Look at how dark... If this was a movie trilogy, you could do like that Harry Potter style thing where it gets darker and darker each year, or each new one that comes out. Look how dark this starts to get, and I love it. If you thought the tone was already very... It was already shifted a couple of notches down from Guild Wars 2, you're going to see it take a couple more now. Already many suffer nightmares as Abaddon takes advantage of their fears and secrets. It is true. Nightfall is at hand. No doubt they will try to overtake the Grand Forum of Vab, and with it the Kodash Bazaar. I've been instructed to use the Jinn of Adashim to protect the key areas. Again, if we'd voted for Magrid way back when, we would have learned a lot more about the Jinn and where Zomoros is from and his people. Basically, the Jinn are the defenders. Jinn are like elementals that are bound to things, items or places, okay? And so anyway, we've got a bunch of Jinn here that are going to help us defend. He says, I've been instructed to use these Jinn to protect key areas. Go with Kos and Maloney to speak with Buta the Bold. Tell him that the Jinn will help protect things. He is a great fighter, and he will know how best to use them in battle. Will you help us one more time, hero? Without a doubt. Now, I'd like to have Morgan with us, but since we haven't done that vote yet, we'll leave it for a moment. Let's go out of the bazaar and finish this quest, because I'm pretty sure we get a decision between Kos and Maloney in a second. So about the rifts, I tried it and heroes can claim it themselves. Yeah, you can just flag them over. Yeah, one of the things I kind of want to do on this stream is show you my Mesmer comp doing it, because you can complete it in about 30 seconds. You can complete it really quickly. You just go in, everything's dead in about 2 seconds, and then you just flag them to the rifts. That's it, done. It's really easy. While you stand back and just kill the Blasphemy and the energy as it comes out. There's a lot of missions like that, like the Unwakened Waters, which I showed you. You can complete. If your team comp's strong enough, you can almost bypass whole missions sometimes. Alright, so here's the Fonta list. Remember where we washed ourselves once again? Once before, sorry? Here's Buta.
Lisa has indeed blessed us with another beautiful day. You can see her presence in the sparkling water in the clear blue sky. I protect this beauty with my life and the lives of those I command. Ah, great heroes indeed. These Jinn that Zerai send will come in handy. I have stationed them at the edge of the forum. I fear an attack will come all too soon. Several merchants suffering from terrible nightmares have already fled. I fear they will serve as conduits for Abaddon's forces. Here they come.
One of the things I always like to do when I do this is try and save all the Jinn. But they always end up dying. I don't know, if you're not doing the quest text, you can just charge up. Here they come, he says. Very interesting to look at the current events of Guild Wars 2 and the connection with the anomalies. There's got to be a connection with Unbound, Creature, and Bloodstone, and how Jinns are similar, but fine. But I think the idea of being bound versus... maybe you're onto something there. That never really occurred... it never occurred to me to think about that, but maybe you are onto something. Yeah, in the Guild Wars lore, the idea of a Jinn is it's an elemental. Like, you got Earth Elementals, you know, your Elementals. But it's an elemental that has been bound to a thing. So Zomoros is bound to the Mystic Forge. And of course you kind of have the classical idea of a Jinn or a genie in a lamp. Bound to a lamp. Well, so like the Jinn of Adashim, they're almost like enchantments, right? Like they are entities in their own right. Or of magic, and I don't know. These are things that I'd like. A fucking bestiary. ArenaNet. Make a bestiary. Give this to us in explicit terms. Now. I demand it. Thank you. like any of us are in a position. Alright, there we go. That's a bunch dead. I'm surprised we got so many minions there, considering these guys don't drop exploitable corpses. Jinn are also intelligent, whereas elementals are not. That's true. And Jinn have the added lore of being able to look like whatever the balls they like. It's also something to consider. They can look like humans.
They're everywhere, says
Buta. This is an instance or an open city. Makes me think about what I'd like to have combat at the bank in capital cities. Hasn't it been since Season 1 that this happened? It's never really happened. Never really had fighting in cities. Well, okay, it has. It happened once. When the Karka attacked Lion's Arch, before even Living World was a concept. It happened. That was real Lion's Arch, as far as I remember, with actual fighting going on in it. When the battle for Lion's Arch happened, like 2 years after that. Oh, sorry, 1 year after that. That's crazy to think of. It was more like 15 months. 15, 16 months. But when the battle for Lion's Arch happened with the Breachmaker, it wasn't really Lion's Arch anymore. It was a significantly different city, and it was just kind of like a massive instance, basically. So it's not quite the same. But I think ArenaNet have always been quite clear that they want the cities to be non-combat places, and that's not too bad of a philosophy to have, I don't think. Talking about Jinn and anomalies, you turn into an anomaly if you jump into the Forge, and there's a Jinn bound to the Forge. Yeah, that's a good point too, actually. Maybe Zomaros would have something interesting to say to someone he sees jump into the Forge and become an anomaly. You'd think he would, right? Maybe he'd mention how Jinnish you've now become, how Jinn-like you are. Oh, that's true as well, yeah. And in the personal story, there are several moments where you have instances that there are fights in, because they copy-pasted the, oh, your city's under attack thing for everyone, because they had no inspiration for the amount of story branches that they'd established. So, yeah, I guess that's true as well. But in terms of, like, open-worldy, oh, I'm just in the Black Citadel, and literally in the regular Black Citadel, mobs have spawned. I think the only example of that genuinely happening, that I can remember anyway, is when the Karka attacked Lion's Arch, way back when. Yeah, ever since Heart of Thorns came out, and they had, they've demonstrated that they can do arenas, I've always wanted them to set the Black Citadel arena up as a PvP arena for people. To duel one another and whatever. At whatever level they are. Just go there, you know, it's a city, that's it, done. I think that would be awesome. And let people spectate and watch, let as many people flood in as you want. Come on, man, why, like, it's... I won't get too hung up, it doesn't matter. I have all these dreams. All these Corteria overhaul concepts. Anyway, there we go. Soup's difficult.
Milani, what's the matter?
Cos, I've had a horrible vision. I saw my village, Ranjak, surrounded by these tendrils and transformed into a nightmare realm.
Sounds like a bad dream.
Not a dream. More like an intrusion. A warning. Like I was in someone else's nightmare.
These tendrils are bad, but they seem to have stabilized.
No, Milani is right. I have been told that the Garden of Saborin has been transformed by these things. It has fallen into night.
The garden? We must go there at once.
No. If it happened there, it happened in Ranjak as well. We must go there instead.
Milani, no. We need to address a real problem, not a silly dream.
Not a dream, a vision. My village has risked everything on our behalf. They're more important than a few plants.
The garden is very important to the princess. We've worked hard to make them our allies.
Allies? You just care about wealthy princes instead of ordinary people.
I care about a real threat, not about some distracting dream.
Not a dream, a vision. You're just being stubborn.
You just think you're always right.
Enough!
You lead our party and I will abide by your decision. You must choose which way we must go.
Agreed. You lead and I shall follow. Which will it be? The garden or the village?
Missed opportunity there, in my opinion. Obviously, it's a bit contrived. That last line from Koss, though, what the voice actor should have done is he should have been like, "What you lead and I shall follow. What will it be? The garden or the village?" Or, you know, like, stress it a little bit. He doesn't like the idea. I don't know, they're so wooden, the way that they read some of this stuff. Okay, this is obviously contrived just to give us a choice. You guys can decide however you like on this, though. Alright? However you like. Do you think it's more important that we check out the garden? Do you like the idea of seeing what the garden's like? This probably the most beautiful place we've been to once it's fallen into night. Is that something that appeals to you, the night-fallen garden? Or do you think maybe Maloney might be right that there is something going on at Runjock? Now, you've kind of got a bit of that video game-ness to the background. You know that because Maloney's a choice, something probably has happened. That you're not going to pick Maloney and then go there, and it's like, oh yeah, it was just a dream, you're a fucking moron. There you go, you lose. Game over. Restart your character, right? Like, you know something's probably up. So the idea of, oh, do we actually trust Maloney's vision, it falls a bit thin, unfortunately. But, you know, so it's up to you guys. Ordinary people or the princes of Vabby? We already brokered them as allies. Are they going to hold us against us? Don't they have their own forces to deal with the garden? On the other hand, we care more about the people of Runjock because we've interacted with them a lot more. You know, there are questions here. Alright, so, who do we go with? Straw poll will be coming up on the first vote of the stream. I actually don't care which one we pick here. I've done some like funny choices on the straw poll for you all, but that are deliberately leading. But I actually don't mind. So just think about it yourself. Twicky, yeah, I'm free for a short talk after we're done. Absolutely. But yeah, so there you go. Do you want to go for Maloney's Ahem vision or Koss's super serious important garden mission, which is actually real? Which one? Which isn't important? Garden, let the village die. I like the people of Runjock. So yeah, what does Koss say right now? By Dwayne's the Varish have no mercy at all. The entire economy of Vabby will fall, and everyone will starve. We'll have to get to the Forum Highlands. Trust me, old friend, I'm right about this one. Wow, that's pretty interesting. Was that actually dialogue about the quest we're on? So look at all the gin here. This is so cool. Oh yeah, the people of Vabby find themselves superior in all ways. I agree, but don't tell the people of Kryta that. Do you guys see that? There's a reference to Kryta back there. This is an intense battle between orange and blue, apparently. Oh my god, 49 to 51. Guys, how is it that we are so divided on things in our little community? Seriously, why is it so many of these polls? We're exactly 50-50 right now. Exactly 50-50. What am I supposed to do with that? Don't give in, blue. Alright, look, I'm going to do the 30-second countdown timer, and it will just be whatever it will be. So, listen, if you want to tie-break this, guys, I'll post the straw poll one more time in chat. And you've only got about 60 seconds before I see. And whatever is winning, even if it's only by, like, 0.5%, will be what wins, alright? Here we go, Maloney or Koss. Hearts or mine. Logic or vision. You get what I mean. Where's the... There it is. Alright, here we go, guys. So... Alright, the response, it's 49% Maloney, 51% Koss. So it looks like we're going to the garden there then. Looks like we're going to the garden, which is actually a 2-vote lead that he had when I was looking. Alright, Lister has indeed blessed us with another beautiful day. You can see her in the presence. Zerai and Metu the Wise have indeed saved the day, as have all of you. It seems you now have to make a choice. Before you do, speak with Zerai. He will see that you are amply rewarded for your courage. I have not seen a fight like that since Amta the Mighty last cleared the halls of Adashim. May Lissa protect us from nightfall. That's interesting. Amta cleared the halls of Adashim. What does that mean? He found the place? He cleared it out? And then the other princes fucking hid there? That's kind of interesting. Oh, people are upset, screaming rigged. I see I got a Bogot subscriber there. Bogot Rage. If the Vision would have won, I would have got on potatoes, says Flaganti. Or people would have. Maloney's one is so much more interesting, says Benji. Me cause me kill everything. Alright, please take this as thanks. I fear it's only the beginning. The garden has fallen and Ronjak may be in peril. It seems you must now make a choice, hero. Alright, so we are going to go heart or mind. Garden in danger. Sorry to Ronjok. I do like Ronjok. I like Nightfall and that area, and I like the mission that you do there and stuff. But the garden's cool. So ruptures have indeed been reported in the Garden of Saborin. It has fallen into night, taken over by creatures of pure darkness known as Harbingers. They will anchor the realm of torment if not destroyed, but can only be harmed by pure light, honor, and truth. Ugh. This is the kind of cheese that would not appear in the movie. The ancient caretakers and protectors, the hedge wizards of Saborin, were killed or ran in terror from their sacred duty to protect our most beautiful and powerful sites. Search this Nightfall and Garden of Saborin for my old friend, hedge wizard Lohai, and gain his aid. You protected the Temple of Lissa. You must now protect the Saborin. If not, all of Vabby will fall. You must make the choice. Defend Ronjok in Cornor or help us Vabians in the Nightfall and Garden. So we're gonna bring light to these dark times. But stay set up, guys, because that is not all the voting. We're not done yet. There is another vote now, and that's of who to kick out. So the reason I did this first was so that people didn't vote to kick Kos and then feel like they were forced into Maloney's mission or whatever for the quest. I figure we should vote on the quest first. So let's go back to the orchids. And so yeah, stay in chat, and you'll see another poll will appear in just a second. So this next one is on who we kick out for Morgan. So Morgan's with us now. He's ready to rock. He's going to be joining. But who do we get rid of? Do we get rid of Kos the Boss? And remember, I already did the descriptions of all of them, so I'm not going to go again. But Kos the Boss, Miloni, the Honey, I don't know. The Master of Whispers, Jura. Zed Shadowhoof, the Centaur. Talcora, the Hiding Princess. Dunkoro, the Tactician. Or Norgu, the Performer. Every word I just gave there, by the way, is an elite specialization for the next expansion. Dem leaks, though. Enjoy. Oh, what? Straw Poll just errored on me. Why? What do you mean error? Why? Oh, I have to type it again. Let me do it quickly. Kos, Miloni, Master of Whispers, Zed, Talcora, Dunkoro, Norgu. Go. Alright, good. Wow, that's the first time Straw Poll has ever errored on me. Alright, guys, so check it out. You can now vote. The hero with the most votes will be getting the boot for General Morgan. So yeah, probably the most useful people you can kick are Norgu, Dunkoro, and Talcora. So if you want to troll me, any of those three is pretty bad. Kicking Zed would be pretty bad. Hell, kicking Master of Whispers would be pretty bad. If you want to help me, kicking either Kos or Maloney would be a good idea. But remember that the next mission, Kos will be with us no matter what. For the next mission. So if you vote to kick Kos, we won't add Morgan until after the next mission. That's why we'll do that. If you want to, I mean, Morgan's a paragon. I don't know what else to say really. It just depends on whether you want to help her, whether you want to make the story choices. Who's the most boring character in the story right now? Zed really hasn't had much to play with for a long time. That would be interesting. In a movie adaptation, keeping Zed somehow relevant, you know, for as long as he needs to be. Maybe Zed is actually just a character you meet for a short period of time, and then he doesn't sort of join the party or become very prominent until a little bit later, where he becomes relevant again. Maybe you do that to cut back on CGI and budgeting issues as well, because, I mean, Jesus, walking around with a centaur the whole time might look kind of cheesy unless you do it right. Straw poll errored because it disagreed with my last decision. It wasn't my decision, it was everyone else's. You can vote to kick Kos, it's just I have to use him in the next mission, so we'll add Morgan in after that. Save Kos, kick Zed. Interesting, interesting. I'll wait just a couple more minutes here before we go for it. And the hedge wizard will actually meet outside as far as I'm aware. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everywhere in Vabby we've seen now. I think that's every outpost. Unless there's one in the top right over here of Resplendent Marcoon. Is there an outpost there? See, these are the things I'm forgetting now. Let's have a look, shall we? Vabby. No, there's not. There's a region we didn't go to though. I'll show you the region we didn't go to. It's out here. It's called the Wilderness of Basda. Here, this is where the Zagna Bastion mission took place, and it is the most easterly that the franchise has ever gone. Remember, I did that whole rant when we were at the Barbarous Shore. Remember when we were down here? And I was like, oh yeah, this is like the opposite of Heart of Thorns. Heart of Thorns is the most west we've ever seen on Tyria. Okay? The most west. It goes further west even than Guild Wars 1's Maguba Jungle did. The Wilderness of Basda, this is the most east it ever gets. And there are those suggestions and slight comments about, you know, there being harpies and beasts and just wilderness way off in the distance, off on the right. And we know from Guild Wars 2's maps that this is like the edge of a supercontinent. But what is going on there exactly, how much of it is wasteland, we don't know. But yeah, these are the wildernesses of Basda. Most players, I think, would only come here for vanquishing, maybe a bit of skill capping, cartography. Basically, if you weren't interested in titles in Guild Wars 1, you weren't coming here. But here you can see we got Hecate and Harpy. Alright, so I'll do the countdown clock again. One final chance, guys. Let's see what we got. Someone just made the point that it's a globe, so the most west is the most east. Wow, blowing my mind, man. But in all seriousness, this is the most east that we can go. All right, there you go. So the results are ding 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 ding. Oh, it's pretty close. Kos wins the kick, really, by 1 vote. You guys are weird. Why would you vote for Kos's plan and then vote for kicking him? Is it just because you're not convinced by his damage? Oh, poor Kos. He was our first ever hero. I usually don't mind on these, but I'm disappointed in that. We could have changed his build, guys, at some point. Well, I've been doing that since the plan, after the many plans. Well, rip to Kos then. Kos, you're about to leave, man. This is the end of your story. The road ends here. Who to kick? Kos. And Maloney was very close. It seems like most people want to help us. So yeah. Let's hope it goes out with a bang, I guess. Let's try and do this mission before the end of the stream, which hopefully won't take too long. Yeah, bye-bye to Kos. I should have checked what the other results were as well. So here, you'll notice now, there's loads of dead guards here and people fleeing. And here you got Saborin, Protector. He says, has Alyssa forsaken us? How could she allow the corruption of this Garden of Purity? So, there's something you guys should understand that Nightfall did was pretty interesting. If we had come through this portal before getting to this point in the storyline, we would have been in the perfectly happy, normal garden of Saborin. Everything would have been fine. And there are certain quests that would have taken place there, like botanical research, that we could have participated in. But now that we're at this point in the story, until we complete the game, it will forever be Nightfallen now. And these tentacles here and things, it will only be the Nightfallen version until we complete the game. So it's pretty cool the way that they do that. It also locks you off from certain elites and things. I don't know. Something very Final Fantasy about that, which I quite enjoy. Oh, we still haven't gotten the Whispers thing. Does that mean we can't get your bounty? Yeah, we have to go back to the Chantry Secrets at some point. But here you go, look at this. It is pretty fucked up. Welcome, guys. This is Tyria. This isn't... We're not in a realm of the gods or anything. Why does it look like the Fissure of Woe, you might be wondering? Because Abaddon is starting to fuck shit up. Varesh is actually doing some pretty bad things. And it's been enough to turn Morgan against her. Look at this. Ridiculous. And here you've got Shadow Beasts. Again, you see these in the foe. These are the Shadow armies. Armies of Menzies and his Shadow army. Another of the demigods, the fallen gods, in allegiance with Abaddon. We'll learn more about that as we progress. Yeah, and we got rid of Kos. We gave him the armor, and now you guys are voting him out? Like, jeez, guys. We could have just given him like 100 blades or, you know, a cool conjure build or something. He could have started doing damage. Look, he's doing alright with damage right now. Look, he's keeping up with everyone else. Look at that, see? Everyone's about level. But no. Goodbye, old friend. You don't have the quality, the utility. Oh, John Smith. Yeah, this is Guild Wars 1. Where the economy is stable and all things are wonderful and bright and happy with the world. Do you think Kos knows he's about to be fired? Probably, yeah. That's why he's trying so hard with the damage. He doesn't realise we've basically turned this into one of those reality TV shows. Where people get to be voted off as soon as they bore us. It's funny, I mentioned before this stream, I was listening to the XFM radio days with Ricky Gervais and Carl Pilkington and Steve Merchant. And it's funny because on one of them, they just very offhandedly and casually talked about a show called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. It was like an ITV show. People in the UK will know about it. Type of 1 if you know what I'm talking about. And, oh god, check it out. Here's a hedge wizard. And there was so much hype around that in those early days. So much, everyone would know what you were talking about, even without even having to explain what you were talking about. They knew about that show. We've basically turned Nightfall into I'm a Celebrity. Alright, here we go. Help, oh Lisa, help us all. What's going on, bro? We are the caretakers of the Garden of Saborin. We ensure that the Saborin in all its beauty flourishes. They're all dead or fled. Dead or fled. I can't shout too loud, it's getting quite late, and I can hear a dude moving around above me in the apartment above. He's gone mad. Kos, why don't you try to talk some sense into him? You'll see, it's terrible. Terrible. I think we'll get a cutscene now. Poor Kos.
All is lost. We are doomed, I tell you, doomed.
We're here to help, old man.
This place is lost, I fear. We should worry about Ranjak.
There is no help. There is no hope. The world is ending. Nightfall is at hand.
Is everything lost then?
No. But the corruption is spreading. Soon it will engulf everything.
Not if we can stop it. Dun dun dun.
What a great cutscene. Alright. Guys, so that's Janna's Horde, which, if you remember, I took you to Janna's Horde a little bit earlier. When we were going through the Vengeance Mines and I showed you the Basalt Grotto and we talked about the Grotto Marathon. I'm actually going to leave that here. The stream's not going to be over. We're going to swap to Guild Wars 2 in just a second. Just because I want to show you guys what over 1,000 gold worth of decorations looks like in the form of ghosts. So I'll do that because otherwise I'm going to have to wait ages to show more. And hopefully that gets more people investing and donating, and maybe we can get even more stuff going on with decorations. But I'll show you that in a second. So you found Lohaj. Lohaj? Yeah. That is good. Horticulturist Hinyon, the head of the order, is preparing for our final stand against the Harbingers. You and Kos will be our savers. We cannot keep the torment at bay, but can do no more than that. It is all up to you to ensure that the Harbingers are destroyed. Only then will this waking nightmare abate. And now, if we press it, you'll see we've got a mission. So yeah, this is the Kos choice, and we'll check that out. Let me load up Guild Wars 2 here. And that'll probably be where we end. Does it look like a few green candles? In some ways, yes. And then in some ways, it's... I'll show you what's annoying about the ghosts and that decoration specifically. It's not just that it's ridiculously expensive, but the way that they compile the effects is really unfortunate. So hold on, let's just swap to some face cam here. I don't usually do this. Usually the Nightfall streams are the Nightfall streams and little else. But I think it should be good. All right, let's close out there. WP watched a replay of your Halloween scribing and then thought, why did I do that? I looked and there wasn't even a clickbait title or a thumbnail with tits. What the hell, man? A replay? Oh, you're talking about the VOD, right? Okay. I was like, what? I don't remember uploading any Halloween videos about decorating. This is why you're being fired, Kos. Don't know how to deal with the customers. I am disappointed in all of you. Getting rid of Kos, man. Not even I got... When I Let's Played the game, I don't think I got rid of Kos. I think I kept him with me the whole time. Kos is like your best friend. You made one of those candles. Really? Do we have 52 now? Or do you mean you made it for a different guild? The main thing I'm interested in now is spamming up cauldrons. But cauldron is a stack of ecto and... like, quite an absurd amount of candy corn for each one. But the other one I want to do is like the Jade Sea stuff. But I think people are a bit stingy with their fractal relics these days, so I don't know. We'll see. Come in game, guys. Go to the guild hall with me, and we'll see how many people we can get to donate these fragments right here at the end of the stream. I won't bother changing it to say we're on Guild Wars 2. This is just for the last couple of minutes. Can we vote Kos back in when we get to the next region? Okay, well, so let's see. Who else is on the roster after this hero change here? Who else have we got? We got... Oh, this could be weird. My Guild Wars 2 client could be acting up. I don't know who else there is on the roster. Who else have we got to join in this game? Is that everyone now? I think Morgan's the last, isn't he? Unless I'm forgetting someone. I'm probably forgetting someone. It would be amazing if Joko became a hero, but like a temporary hero. Oh, I'd love that. That would be so fun. Anyway, let me... Well, the idea of temporary heroes probably doesn't work too well. Okay, here we go. So, Guild Wars 2. Let's look at how absurd this is and what I wasted all this money on in the exact way that I was joking about before. Can you join my guild? Yes, you can. It's for anyone and everyone. Alright, so I'm on the airship, obviously, because I've been doing this. So this is what the Halloween Hall looks like now, which I was talking about at the start of the stream. Zed comes back at some point, then Morgan, then Dunkoro, then that's it. Oh, for required heroes. Yeah. But I can't remember if there's any side heroes you could get. Oh my god, people are joining already. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we do look a bit more Halloween-y. This is particularly good when it's sunset, sunrise, or night. When it's the middle of the day... Oh my god, I think it is sunset or sunrise right now, because it's very orangey. So this is how the guild hall looks right now, okay? So we've just loaded in. We got some cool stuff. We've got some cauldrons around. Funsies. I put that statue there, even though it's not very Halloween-y. And then this is about 1,000 gold you're looking at here. See all the ghosts? Now, don't let me... I don't want to be like... I actually really like the effect. I think it was more money than if I could go back, I wouldn't spend this much on it. But I do really like the effect. My problem with it, though, is, you see how all the ghosts spawn at the same time and then they fly into the sky at the same time? It's pretty cool, right? But it actually looked much better when I originally made this bridge. Because, and so what I've done, in case you can't tell, is I got all these little candles down here. You see? Plastered to the sides of the bridge. And that's where the candles are. And they all come up like so. I was actually inspired. This one down here, hidden right in here, that was someone else did that. But the thing is, when you load in, it loads them all at once. And so all the effects go in unison. However, when I was placing them, because I was placing them all different times, it looked way better because they were all staggered. It was like one and then one and one, and it was just like a constant frenzy of ghosts all over the place. It looked way cooler. And I got like one up on the building up there as well. But yeah, they all go together now. So yeah, this is all the seance candles. My decision this morning to make 50 of them. It was quite absurd. But I quite like that we've got them in the thing now. If you look, I'm now down to 1,200 gold. And I think at the end of last stream, we were around 2,500, 600. And I've had some donations since then. So it's quite mental. But also last stream, we only had one cauldron. I made some more. So we got a bunch of cauldrons. I've just dumped these around. Feel free to delete these cauldrons if you want to. And use them anywhere else you like. It's not a problem to me. I think we've got 6 cauldrons total in the hall now. I haven't really done anything further away than that. What I want to focus on next is like some of these things. It's just a question of price now though, because this has drained me heavily. I wanted that for the big lottery sweepstake thing, and I don't know how I feel now. Because on the other hand, I do want to go kind of crazy on decorations. I had a version here as well where I had all seance candles inside here, and there were just billions of ghosts flying around in here, but it didn't look so good because this building, okay, if you look at how high the roof is, you'd expect that if you filled up this building and you had loads of seance candles, you'd see ghosts on the inside and the outside. But the funny thing is the walls on this are really thick, so you don't see them. Like, look at how tall the building is. Look all the way up there, right? There's a lot of hollow space in the building, so you might expect, oh, there's a stairway going up into the turret or something. But when you come inside, look, the ceiling is actually really low. So there's like, I'm kind of interested in like being able to clip yourself inside there or something, see what that room is up there, because there surely is one. But what it means is if you put loads of ghosts in here, you can't see them through the roof or anywhere. The other thing I did was I made loads of jade. Somebody donate. So this is what I'd like you guys to donate. If you're watching, if you're keen on decorations, everyone has permission to decorate in the guild hall right now. You can all have fun with it. This is very pricey, but you can do some amazing things with it. It's these here, the fragments of the solid ocean. 150 fractal relics for a single one, but then you craft out of those all kinds of other stuff. So my demonstration for the kind of stuff you can make is up here. I built a little prison. It's at the upper plaza. Oh, did somebody delete it all? Why would you do that? Oh, that's lame. That's really lame. Okay, well, I'd made a prison I wanted to show you guys, but somebody's fucked about with it. I guess it was sealing off the waypoint, so maybe someone thought it was a bit too trolley. But, alright, I guess I'll just drop them unless someone else has done it down here. Oh, sorry, hold on. Wrong one, it's up here. Alright, a couple of them are left. So, it makes stuff like these. Now, these are the large crystal blocks, but you can make waves and big waves, and you can make, like, holographic dances and stuff. I'd made a prison that you could see out of, but you couldn't get out of easily. And I'm thinking of, like, a mini game where you lock all of the waypoints, and then someone goes and hides on the map, and then everybody escapes, and the first one to find the person hiding wins, or something like that. But, like, there's a lot of fun things you can do, so... I want you to know for the record, my previous prison was, like, 1,000,000 times better than this. This isn't even a prison you might be able to escape. But yeah, so yeah, decoration stuff. The more of those fragments you buy, all you have to do is go to the Central Precipice waypoint and go and buy those fragments. That's it. That's all you have to do, and I can scribe from there, or other people, if they like, can scribe from there. Just like Blue Locust is here. You're a legend, dude, if that's what you're doing. So you just buy these, and then pumpkins as well. But yeah, so we did. We spent over 1,000 gold, about 3 hours worth of pure assembly time for these little green candles here. And there's a couple more. Like, I put some around here as well, trying to, like, give this idea of lots of ghosts around. I think they do a lot for the feel of it. It's just, you know, it's just like a mental amount of stuff. If I still had all the regular pumpkins that built into them, I'd probably feel a bit more rewarded. But this is just like, what is this? This is 150 of the top tier pumpkins just evaporated and became candles instead. Plus, like, all the mats and stuff for the kits and whatever. But yeah. So that's what I was doing. That's how the decoration's going. That's the Nightfall stream with a bit of a weird end. The other thing I kind of wanted to show you guys was my Mesmer comp doing that mission we just did in Nightfall, because that would have been amazing. But maybe we can show that off another time. Maybe I'll look at psychic instability. But as I said, I'm kind of drowning in balls at the moment, so we shall see. What do I think of the pumpkin monster? I thought the pumpkin monster was really cool, and I like seeing people doing creative stuff like that. It was badass. So yeah, Halloween theme, guys. It's going to be like this for another 2-3 weeks, maybe even a whole month. So get in there, build some pretty stuff, scribe some stuff. Next week you'll probably see a stream in which I do a bit more crafting, if we've got the funds for it. And we try to get one of everything. At least one of every decoration in the game. Let's try to do that. Except the PvP trophy ones, because, yeah. But still. So enjoy, guys. I could get Elias, that's true. I don't know, though. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. And I will see you. Sorry, on Saturday. Did I say Friday a second ago? I still got to get used to that. It's been ages. I'll see you on Saturday at the very latest, or for videos in the meantime. Cheers, everyone. And I'll see you soon. Oh, someone said that maybe host Bog or Peachy. Does that mean Bog or Peachy are on at the moment? I will host. I'm sorry, I've already gone silent and acted like it's the end of the goddamn stream and everyone's already buggered off. So my host won't even be that good. But let's have a quick look. Hang about, guys, 1 second. Let me scroll down, let me scroll down, let me scroll down. Alright, okay, that should work. I'll see you guys soon.